Okay, hi there. So this set of lecture series, we're looking at some simple concepts in regards to inheritance, right? And in order to do that, what I got to do right away, I'm going to go ahead and create a, let me create a class. I'm going to call this class, what should I call this? Maybe B, right? B, and then, remember this is a constructor, hopefully spelling is correct, but you guys can fix it. Double underscore init. This is a built-in Python method. Anytime you say double underscore with something in it, it's a key method, right? And Python has a different meaning for it. So provide self, and construct also takes a name. I'm going to put a name here. Self.name is equals to n. Okay, and it has a self. Self is almost like a variable. It's like a pointer that's pointing to the current class and all the properties in it. Okay, that's that. And then I'm going to also, class created, self is here, everything's looking cool. I'm going to say B is equals to B, provide a name here. This would be several B's, right? And then I want to do a print. Okay. And it's probably giving me some weird Python address, which makes no sense. So there's this other magic code that actually it is, I think it's called magic methods that Python provides, and it's called double underscore str, right? And that basically represents anytime you do a print such as what we did below, it will return what you put in here. So I'm going to say return self.name. All right. So that should now watch what my output changes and how. Okay, that changes to BBB, right? So that's pretty cool. Okay, what I want to do in addition to that, I'm going to create another class, and this would be class A, right? Class A, and here go ahead and do a define another init. All right. Now I'm trying to think what should I provide in here. Actually, before we do that, right? Before we do that, simple things. I can also say here n equals, can I not? Right. In that case, if I don't provide the argument, right? If I don't provide anything in the argument when I'm initiating, instantiating an object of a B class, then still this is going to run fine, because the reason is I'm providing a default value right there, right? I'm providing a default value. So that should run totally fine without any problem. All right. But now, for now, at least I'm going to take, I'm going to take this out, right? This out, BBB. Well, I'll just leave it there for now, right? Let's do another one, class A, right? The same thing here, define init, self, n is equals to four A's, single quote, like that, there, and self.name is equals to n, right? Okay, so that is that. And then I'm wondering, no, I don't need a str here. So, nothing weird so far. These are just two separate classes, right? They're not connected to each other in any way. But what I'm going to do is that in order for me to have B inherit from A, I can put A here, right? And that makes class B inherit everything that's going to come into A, right? So watch what happens. I'm going to do something here. So I'm going to say, let me just take this out for now, I believe. I mean, default value, I like to put the default value in that when I want to create, well, leave it like that. So let's just, and I'm going to call this A name, okay? A name like that. I'm gonna call this B name, okay? Because I want that variation. A name, so here I'm gonna put AN and BN, right? You follow like that, okay? And then here B name, okay. All right, so hit my run and make sure that I didn't. All right, it probably happened. So, okay, now B is equals to B. All right, and then I'm going to say print B dot right. What do you think is what do you think is supposed to print? What do you think it will print? It simply should print me the B's that I got here, right? Because it makes sense. You know, initially I'm sending this, I'm not sending this value, it's a default, but still that value is set here. But now you think, since class B is inheriting from class A, I should be able to print, I should be able to do B.A.name. You see that? Because the professor said, hey, if class B is inheriting from class A, that means all the properties of class A or methods is available to B. That's what the professor said, and that's what I said, right? However, you watch what happens here, right? Right. Hey, did you mean there's a red flag here and says, what's going on, right? In A underscore name is available right there, and B is inheriting from A, but yet it's not valid. So this is what's happening. When you write classes in Python, right, and when you're inheriting from a class, there's a method there already. But as soon as you give the same name of the method, you're overriding this already. That means whatever is available here is gone, right? You're overwriting it, you're giving a new meaning. So to the computer here, this doesn't exist at all, right? This doesn't exist at all, right? So that is what's happening here. So you watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take. Let me just call this out, right? I'm going to comment this out, right? So I'm not printing that b.name. I'm not dealing anything with B. And I believe I can comment this out too. Let me just, maybe it'll cause me error, but maybe not, right? Take that out. I'm going to run it now. All right, you see that? The same code. I didn't change anything in A. Only thing I did was that in the B, I said, hey, I'm not overriding this constructor. I'm just using what's available to me in A. So when that happens, right, the meaning that class A provides as a parent is available to me in class B. But at any time when I do when I use something like this basically overrides if there is one in my parent, right? So that's why A is not available. So remember that's kind of tricky. You think that, hey, everything I got in class A should be available to class B because it's a parent, right? But it's not. So how do we fix that? I mean, how do we fix that, right? Well, you can. A couple of ways you can do that, right? In order to, I mean, it will not make sense if you're not allowed to have an init here and init here as well. It will not make sense. There's a couple of ways you can fix that. One way to fix that is simply you can do a dot init. I believe you can put self here, right? And I'm just going to see if this works, okay? I think that should, now everything should follow everybody else. Init. All right, see that? It follows everything else. Now the whole code makes sense. However, I don't like this. I don't like that code because it just, I mean, the proper way to do that is you can say super, and then double underscore init, right? Double underscore like that. And the reason I like that is because that is generic, right? You can call this in any inheritance situation, right? Call in any inheritance situation, right? And it will work, right? Don't have to worry about A dot or B dot. This will just work fine. So I like that way better than any other method of calling A or B. All right, so that is that. Now, the other one, what if we had something like this? Class C, this inherits from B, right? So if that's the case, would, I'm just gonna, I'm going to, I'm going to define init self, and same thing to here. I'm just playing with names here. Cn equals to, all right. And here I'm going to say self dot c is equals to c underscore n, right? And yeah, that is good. So, okay, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this str method right here, all right? And I'm going to say return a dot name, right? So far, everything's pretty much the same, right? A dot name, and then leave the super as it is. I think I'll have a problem with my str, but we'll see what happens, right? I didn't plan on doing this, but anyways. So I got to put this super, right? I got to call my, so that goes right here, right? And then of course I want to have my str method as well, because I really want to show you something. Hopefully that will work the way I planned in my head. All right, now, I can have C is equals to C, right? I'm not providing anything else. And I can say print C, right? All right, so what is happening, right? You see, when I run this, right? When I run this, when I do a C, C is equal to, lowercase c is equal to an instance of an object of uppercase C, right? It will call this method, all of it, and that will call all of these, and that will call all of these, right? But then when I call the str method, because that print by itself, right, like here, that is basically going to this line of code, all right? That's going to that line of code, but it's not printing the other stuff that I want to see. And in order to do that, what you have to do, I believe, you have to do here, return super str, str double underscore, just like that. So I got to copy this over to my B as well. All right, space, make sure space is correct, and then go ahead and hit run here. What do I mean in the value syntax? Super dot. All right, so now it's only returning that one. Interesting. So the thing, it's the reason it's not working the way it's supposed to be is because actually it's working the way it's supposed to, because I'm using this return statement. So if I change this return to print, all right, just watch what happens. I'll make it all work. I'm going to say print here, right? I'm going to say print, okay, and str, put that right there, print, and then take that super out, all right, and put instead of return. Yeah, when you have a return and it's not in proper order, right, only one of those will execute. And in this case, I didn't structure it properly. So super here, take this out as well, right? Put this print here. you know, I this time I should get something different, but let's just see what happens. All right. Print. So I think, okay, because print is not returning anything, right? So what you can do, I wonder if I can do C. I wonder if there's a toString method, maybe str method. Give me 1 second, okay? All right, make it easy. Let's go back to the return statement. Return, right? Return right here. And then this one also return. Yeah, I was thinking of something else and it's not even working. I said, you know, I can Control Command X right here. I can simply add this to this other return. I wonder if that will cause a problem. That probably will, but anyways, I want to try it. Control X, return here. I might have to take one of them out, but either way, I don't think I can have 2 returns in a statement like that, but you never know. I may have to bring one of this out. Right, one of those may be out. Let's just see. Oh, what am I missing here? Print. Hey, at least it didn't give me an error. Either way. Anyways, it did print something, right? And then what it print was that, you know, you can see C is inheriting from B and B is inheriting from A. And when I call a method in C, and if that method is calling, you know, is calling another method in B, it will all the values are collected together and presented here in this. All right. Hopefully that will give some ideas and some help. Let me see if there's anything else. All right, that is pretty cool.